Are live on Instagram and we are live on YouTube. Hey, everybody, welcome to Monday Mindset. I will be your host, Jessica Alstrom. If you're unfamiliar with my world, I teach people the biology of manifestation and basically how that works all here. You think that you're kind of like manifesting here. It's all taking place here. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Monday Mindset. Today, we're going to dig into burning desire and what it actually means for you when you're internally focused versus externally focused. All right. So, welcome everybody that's joining. We are diving into desire through the art of manifesting and why desire may not be exactly what you think it is. Okay. So, I am taking a group of amazing ladies and a gentleman on a 90-day boot camp to manifest their dream body. Now, I look at the body as the vehicle for manifestation. You are electromagnetic energy. Your blood creates the mood and the sensations. The hormones are very, very important in manifesting. And so if you kind of look past the art of the woo-woo and you get into the hard science, quantum biology, okay, quantum physics, you really can understand technically and systematically how to, manifest. All right, anybody that's watching in my house, get off the Wi-Fi. We're like having issues here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on YouTube here. Hopefully we won't freeze. Oh, are we live? Are we live? Sorry, guys. Oh. Okay. Oh, there I am. There I am. I'm gonna have to pause this and come back to there. Okay. Give me a minute. Anyways, if you guys want to watch this live on YouTube or Instagram and I'm all being crazy because of the Wi-Fi signal, just go over to my YouTube channel. It's Jessica Alstrom, Biology of Manifesting. Anyways, we look like we're still live here, so we're going to go for it. I'm going to keep going. So this idea of desire has been coming up a lot in our boot camp. And basically my objective here is to take anybody that is ready to go the fast track, the biohacking, the shortcut way through to their dream vessel. Okay. Because when you have this going right, everything out there is so much easier. And it has little to do with how you look and more how you feel and how it's operating for you. Because you are creating a very small energy field, or you can create a very big energy field and have a maximum effect in the universe and create a lot of expansion. And I don't mean your waistline. Okay. So this message is really for those of you who have a very big calling. And some of you have been able to manifest that big calling, and some of you have still feel like it's still trapped inside of you, this calling. And if this calling has not stood out on a stage yet, I really hope that you will stay tuned and watch us. Like I said, if I'm going schizo on this over here on Instagram, jump over to YouTube. Looks like our signal is good over there. We've got so many people in my house today working on my bandwidth. So I'd like the people upstairs to maybe get off the Wi-Fi, but we'll see what happens, okay? Anyways, so let's get into desire. So many people think that desire is something that comes to them through inspiration or lack, and it is something that they have to try to figure out how to create, okay, out there. That is not what desire is at all. Desire is actually a complete container that within it is your divine purpose. So the desires of your heart are designed to be manifested in this time-space continuum. Like this lifetime, guys, not next lifetime, this lifetime. If you have a desire in your heart, it is your job to manifest it. It is because that is how God can work through you to create infinite expansion on this planet. You never have a desire that is from your heart that would not benefit the whole, ever. Now, you might have some survival-based desires. You might have some lustful-based desires. I'm talking about heart-filled desires. I mean, the ones that are burning you from the inside, the effect you want to have on humanity, the world you want to change, the people you want to feed, the help that you want to give. Okay, those desires were basically put into your field for you when you were ready to have that message come up. It's like a text message from God. Like, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? And so who are you when a desire bursts through you? Let me ask you. Are you the type of person who gets that wave of desire and immediately is like, F yes, and jumps out into physical reality to try to like make it happen? You start talking about it, you start building, you start like collaborating immediately? Or are you the person who is immediately going to go check your allowance? You're going to check your bank account, you're going to check your meter, you're going to check your capabilities, you're going to check your intelligence to decide if you're allowed to have your desire unfold? Or are you one of those people who have a desire wash through you and you immediately sort it through the filter of judgment, insecurity, jealousy, envy, and it is just one more thing that you can't have? Well, I'm going to tell you all three of those are incorrect ways to manifest desires. Because desire, when it is birthed through you, it is not actually ready to birth. When desire washes through you, it is for you to work with internally to become that person, not from doing, but a place from being, to create a state within yourself where that can be your reality, which means that you want to sit in it, you want to marinate in it, you want to feel through it, you want to see what negative belief systems are in the way, you want to see what your potential is, you want to see what you have access to, you want to see what you could create access with. And this is why we call it divine timing. And oh my goodness, this is one thing after another over here. Gotta get batteries checked and Wi-Fi's. Time to quantum leap this. Okay, so when you are doing a desire by running out into physical reality to make things happen, okay, that is usually a woman in her masculine or a man that is just really full of piss and vinegar. Okay. And if you are the person who is then checking in and like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't look the part, I don't have the intelligence, this must not be for me. Or the person that jumps into jealousy or envy or insecurity, again, those desires that are burning in your heart are never going to go away. They're going to keep calling. They're going to keep texting. And they are not a scam likely, guys. They are your birthright connected to your purpose, which means desire is a full container. It has within it every single component that you would require to live that desire physically. I mean, God's not a dick, okay? God is not trying to like give you something that you can't have here. But what he is saying, or it is saying within you, is that you've got to become this person within yourself in harmony. I call it the me, myself, and I, the ego, the inner child, the higher self. When all three voices move into that triad, that triangle, it is done. It creates completion, and you become magnetic to the resources, the collaboration, the infinite possibilities, the abundance of the universe to manifest that desire through you and to you as it perceives in linear logical experience, because none of it's linear and none of it's logical, and time doesn't matter at all. What matters is what are you doing with these desires and what are you thinking about them, because they're yours. You were like, okay, I'm going to create a body here. I'm going to go down to earth. I'm going to create heaven down here. Just with the love in my heart, I'm going to help people. I'm going to be of service. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to cry. I'm going to eat amazing food. I'm going to have amazing love. And I'm going to pack all these desires I'm going to need that are going to be birthed out within me at certain timetables so that I can have a physical experience of what is kind of a treasure hunt back to you. Like this whole journey is you coming back to you. And so you knew these desires were going to birth out kind of like an alarm clock. And they were going to come through at different times. And some have been coming and coming, and they don't go away. You're just like snooze, snooze. You're sleeping on these desires because physical reality has tricked you into believing that you are unworthy, that you are unsafe, that you don't deserve it, or you are not the person that could facilitate that. But here's the crazy part about the existence is when you have a desire that is not survival based, not lust based, not revenge based, but a true desire, it is 100% for you and the entire universe. will back you in getting it. This I know because I've manifested those desires. And I've seen hundreds of my clients manifest these desires. But the trick is, where are you in that desire? Where are you in belief of that desire? How do you look at it? So many people in my boot camp, I was shocked when they would start to go into their imagineering work and they would sit in these desires and start to like interact with them, were still feeling like they didn't deserve it, but they're the ones that put it there. Like, you put these desires in your field so that you would have something to do here. You really thought you were supposed to come here, get fat, pay bills, like have beef with your family, get your heart broken 25 times, and then croak. Like, no, that is absolutely not why you are here. You are here to manifest reality of the desires in your heart, which would lead you to your divine purpose and mission here. And now I truly believe that everyone's purpose here is the same. Okay. And I believe, from thousands of people that I've coached over the years, is that our mission is to bring heaven to earth. Heaven, the idea, the state of being, the experience of unity, of love, of unconditional love, of abundance, of freedom. That's, to me, what I believe that each one of us is here to do in our own sweet secret sauce, which means that everybody gets to do that in their own flavor. Not like everybody's got to win a Nobel Peace Prize or everybody's got to be on a stage. No, some people can just be walking joy. Some people can just be walking sunshine. Some people can just be helpers. Some people can just be, heroes in their own way by displaying this, by influencing this, by sharing this, by being this. You've ever walked around like a super positive person that was not arrogant? They were very grateful. They were happy to know you, even though they were probably way bigger in your mind than they were, and they were super excited to meet you, and you felt so good about yourself in their presence. They brought heaven to that moment for you. And to me, that is our job. And so when you're bumping into inspiration of other people that are creating heaven and you're feeling like, oh, I can't stand her voice right now, it's like nails on a chalkboard, it might be because there is something in your field, in your way, a pattern, a belief system where you got denied access somehow through your belief systems that you're not allowed to have your desires. And I usually find this streaming in the childhood, because in the childhood, you come in here knowing that you're here to shine. You come with burning desire to experience everything when you come, if you've ever been around a toddler. And I know I have had 4 of them. Okay. And they are just so freaking excited to be here until they learn the word no. And then they kind of like have to find their place. Okay. So in childhood, if you had parents that wounded you, which was like 95, 98% of the planet, and pushed you kind of away from your I am, and pushed you away from your central intelligence systems, your GPS, that was the galactic cosmic connection where you knew everything was okay. You knew you were safe. You knew you were completely birthrighted to abundance. You knew freedom was your natural frequency. As soon as you started to learn the word no, you were like, I have to find my place so I can survive and not get rejected here. And you found your place. And usually in childhood, you'll find 4 different places. You'll either be, you'll be the golden child, which that's huge. That's so hard to live up to, because now you've got to be perfect all the time. Right? And you can't make a mistake. And I mean, I literally had a client one time who was a professional musician. She was a violist, very, very famous, and took her into a hypnosis session. And her desire and her dream was literally to be a bartender on a beach in the Caribbean. True story. But she didn't want to let her family down. She didn't want to not contribute to the lineage of the musicians that were birthed through her. And so she kept that desire in her heart, and she played month after month after month after month, and her body got sicker and sicker and sicker because she was not honoring her true state. Now notice that. Who would have judged her, right? Not us, but she was judging herself. And other people might have judged her to walk away from such an amazing opportunity. It was like, people would kill for this opportunity, and I would just walk away to literally play on the beach. Hell yes. Because if you are a happy beam of light on the beach, the world needs that. If you are an unhappy musician, you see? So it's context. It's Don't look at anyone else's story. Stay in your lane and look at your own paper, because what you might take for granted or have when someone else wants, you might not want it at all, because it isn't why you came. You might have come to just play and remind people to play. You might just be here to create art, to move people emotionally, to tell a story of the universe through that art. You might be here for music. You might be here for comedy. You might be here to write books. You might be here to raise children. You might be here to build a beautiful home that radiates the idea of heaven on earth. And none of that should be devalued based on what you judge about status and success. So if you are the golden child, I give you permission to go do something so imperfect that it makes you so freaking happy, and you get to be messy and imperfect, and that gets to be you, because when you do that, you add to the expansion of this universe. God gets to work through you and work towards you inward, so that you get to have that blissful experience, and the universe gets to expand because you chose to be authentic and unapologetic about who you are. Now, if you were the hero or the helper, that's the category I fell in. Okay. It's like, well, I'm not getting anywhere unless I help somebody. Okay. I'm not even getting fed unless I do above and beyond. That was my role. And it actually built a career for me for a while. But that's why I've moved away from healing services and like, oh, I've got to save the world, to, you know what, let's just figure out how to play here. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to remind you of your own biology and your own magic. That's it. But if you were the helper, then you have a tendency to constantly be filling everyone's cup from an empty cup. That means when a desire washes through you about something that you want to do, you inherently feel selfish. You inherently feel guilt and shame, because you've got to be giving in order to have a value here. You've got to be like on top of it. You've got to be rescuing. You got to be healing. The world is going to hell and it's horrible here. It's hell on earth. Yeah, but that's why you're here to create heaven, not by saving people who should be saving themselves. The biggest gift of healing you could give anyone in this universe is to show them how to play in their desires, to show them how to manifest, to show them what's inside of them and say, you know what? I believe in you. And I'm not going to do this for you, because then I take away from you the power to truly find your way. But I will demonstrate through what I have created a way for you. Okay. So if you were the helper, that might be in the way of you owning and allowing yourself to play in your desire and open up your present and open up your package and your complete container that holds all the abundance, all the support, everybody. The key components of that desire are actually all put energetically into your desire. Your job is to be present enough and love yourself enough and say, F this, and say, I'm opening it and I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to make this my life. And I don't care what anybody thinks of me, because really they don't. Really they don't. And how amazing of a gift would it be to your family to actually be able to stop this generational pain and all of this trauma in its track and choose love gracefully. Okay. So the next childhood block that usually blocks you from your desires is you had to be the sick one. Now, I say you had to be the sick one because when a child chooses to be sick, I mean, children are such brilliant creators. I mean, brilliant. They are going to find and manipulate a way to get attention, to get love, to be seen and heard, to get out of shit. I know I've got 4 kids. They're powerful. Okay. So if you were the sick one, it was because that was the way that you felt the least rejected. I know that sounds crazy from like a logical perspective, but this is the mind of a child. And so if you actually got your back rubbed, you know, if you got more attention, if you got to stay home from school because you were being bullied, if you know, the hospital was like more fun than your household, you felt safer in the hospital, then your role was to be the sick one, because that was the one that helped you feel more connected to all there is. And I know, again, but I know a lot of people that have chosen that. So then when the desire is, I want to go climb Mount Everest, but they can't get out of a wheelchair, they think their desire isn't for them. And I'm here to say, oh, yo, you just got to change your childhood story. You just got to let it go. And trust me, you'll be seen and heard on Everest because you'll make it. Okay. So like understanding that if you were the sick one or the unhealthy one, then that was the role that needed to be played. But if that role continues, those desires in your heart will not manifest because they don't align with the truth of who you are connected. They got you taken care of, or it was a way for you to survive your childhood, but they 100% will not allow you to open up the container of those desires. And the last one, right? Well, if sick doesn't work, and being the golden child doesn't work, and being the helper doesn't work, F it. I'll be the dysfunctional troublemaker. I'll be the rebellious one. Okay. And if you chose to be the rebellious one, then that has been your story. You got to rebel. Okay. You got to be the injustice fighter. You've got to be different. You've got to be like, I am unique in this way where I'm causing trouble. And again, nothing wrong with any of these four when you look at it from the child's perspective. Children are going to manifest their reality in the safest way they can, but you're grown up now. You're on Instagram. Look at you. You got followers and everything. And it's time for you to go, hold on a second. You know, if you've studied any self-concept work, any law of assumption work, you understand that the self-concept that you built in childhood may not be serving your futuristic journey. Some of you are parents, okay? Still playing out your childhood role. And I bet you the kids that you have trigger the absolute F out of you. And the reason why is because they are unapologetic. They're not going to have a role. And if they do have a role, you're going to bow down to it because this is the generation where we have over nurtured and we have allowed them to have a voice and we have allowed them to speak their feelings and display their desires. And ours are still locked up, right? Because we still feel like we're 8 years old being parents. So there's a lot to do with being present because your presence, your gift, your desire, your purpose is in the present moment because it's going to come through you. Like I said, you're either going to choose those four paths if you're in disbelief, right? And you've created dis-ease in your flow, or you could choose with ease to curiously take a look at your desires differently and say, okay, if I have this desire, why do I have this desire? Why does it never leave year after year? Maybe it'll get quieter if your survival issues get stronger. Okay. It'll get quieter if you start dating the wrong person. It'll get quieter if you get really sick, but it's going to still be there. And the worst part about Earth is because it's a mirror, you're going to see people doing what you want to do. You're going to see it all over social media. And I know you're not the type of person that would settle for watching someone else live out your desire when it's stuck in your heart. So anytime you feel a comparison moment, a jealousy moment, an envy moment, or even a moment where you're like, oh, I hate her, reflect on all of that because there might be something in there for you. You know, like there's truth about haters, and haters are either they want to be you, okay? Or there is something about you that keeps them from being them. That's it. And if you fall into the category of haters, I look at your desires and give yourself everything you've ever wanted. That's it. Just give it to yourself because, you hear in the self-help work, like, oh, you got to have self-love. But the thing is everyone here on earth thinks that self-love is something that you get by doing. It is something that you get by like putting in enough or earning enough or having enough value or having right letters after your name or looking a certain way. And then I can love myself. Okay. And then I can fulfill my desire. When I get this much money in the bank, I'll look at my desires. When I get in shape, I'll look at my desires. When I blah, blah, blah. But let me tell you something about desire. Your body biologically has the mind of a child and it is desire inspired, which means that if you don't have a desire, what's the point of losing weight? Okay. If you don't have a desire, if you have nothing to look forward to, if you have no bigger game plan, what is the point of taking care of this thing at all anyways? But all of a sudden, if you go, wait, my desires are for me. I brought them here. They're not for someone else. They actually are for me if I had that desire. And God wants to work through me because I become the vessel in which God can transform. Wait a second. This is for me? Hold on. And if I were able to do this, I wouldn't want to be sick. And if I were able to do this, I wouldn't be a troublemaker. And if I was able to do this, I wouldn't be helping people who can't help themselves, who never help me. Okay? And I wouldn't have to be the golden child because I would be free to be me. So reflect on that. Because in this Monday mindset, the gift that I want to give you is the awareness of knowing that the biology of manifesting is looking at each desire as if you placed it before your incarnation and you were going to unpack them, just like Christmas, and you were going to move into alignment of being, and then they would manifest, which means 80-20 rule, guys. Your job, 20% effort here. That means whatever little inspired action after it's germinated, after you've impregnated that desire into your body and literally lived it out in your imagineering, and you've played with it in different ways, and your body has received all the glorious hormones from the wish fulfilled, and staying in the state and not settling for status quo or shit you think people want you to do, and just being real and honoring yourself, your body will transform like that. Because I could not get my body right until I found my purpose, until I said yes to my desires. And then it was like a child that was like, I'm sick. We're going to Disneyland today. I'm not sick. I'm not sick, because there was a bigger meaning, right? We as humans have a tendency to settle because we believe our desires are not ours. We believe it's just a desire. We believe everybody has desires that they can't fulfill. But when you understand that biologically they are packed into your DNA on purpose for a purpose that is all tied to a bigger purpose, you go, hold on a second. Do I want to go in that instant gratification moment, or would I rather stay inside tonight and play in my imagineering and play with this desire and try it on and be with it and let it feed my body what it's been lacking? You know, I keep chasing after this and chasing after that and chasing after that, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the essence of my desire in someone or something. Let me ask you about the last toxic relationship you had. I know we've all had one. There was fundamental things about the person that you loved. Okay. It was their charisma. It was their courage. It was their humor. It was their wit. Every single thing that you loved about them, you believed you were lacking. That's why you couldn't let go to them. That's why you're obsessed with your special person. Okay. But ultimately, what your desire is telling you is you don't need that narcissist. You don't need that guy that's not going to treat you well. You don't need that woman that's not going to appreciate you. What you need is to remember that what they're displaying, those characteristics, are yours. You had to give them up in childhood to sustain your family BS, but that is actually who you are. You're the funny one. You're the charismatic one. You're the witty one. Okay? You're the cool one. Basically, everything you've not felt within yourself is what you seek in others to fill that sensation. And when they're around you, they don't treat you better, but you get to be in that energy. You get to be in that, oh my gosh, they're so funny. I love being with them because I feel like I'm funny or I'm with that. And if you just drop all the zeros and get with this hero, right, you would be like, oh, all of these instant gratification things I'm choosing and these relationships that don't love me back are telling me that I'm not fulfilling my desire. Because when you are in your desires and you are saying F yes to you, and you are working on becoming through alignment of frequency within your own biological system in imagination, which is absolutely free, that costs you nothing. You don't have to tell anybody and get your hopes dampened because someone says that's stupid. Okay. You do it all internally. You plant the seeds, you germinate it, you water it, you sunlight it, you think of it, you feel it, you play in it. And then one day, right, all of a sudden, because it's so organic, it is literally the logical next step, it will birth through you. You guys, this is how we bring heaven to hell. You don't run out in physical reality and try to change a dead planet. You know, you are the only life on this planet. This planet is, everything is biological and organic, which means it's all decomposing. And so the life that you bring into the world is how this world stays. But we're here to bring eternal life as the evolution of mankind happens right before our eyes. And there are millions of people out there choosing desire, choosing to get into the flow, choosing the stream, choosing themselves and saying, you know what, this might not be great for my family right now. This might make me look bad on paper, but this is what's going to light my heart on fire. And this is what's going to bring me to life. So let me ask you this question. Are you living a half dead life? That's a serious question. I know, because that was what I was doing. Even though I was like going with the flow, and I was like going through the motions, and I was raising my kids, and I'm like paying my bills, and like this, and like my hopes and dreams. The more bills you stack up, and the more breakups you have, and the more shit that goes wrong in your life, the more your desires kind of get put on the back burner, to the point where I have met people on the planet who have no idea why they're here. If you would have spent time with your desires and do spend time with it, you would know exactly why you're on the planet, and it would be perfect for you. It may not make sense for someone else, but look at yourself as a very important puzzle piece. And the thing that you think, well, how is this going to bring heaven to earth by, being a bartender on the beach, right? But that joyful moment of maybe people who fly all around the world that are depressed and anxious and are unhappy and sick, and they fly from all over corporate America or all over the world in corporate, and they come to your bar on that beach, and they get put in your sunshine, and they realize you were a professional, like, violist, and you chose joy. You are giving them effing permission to be themselves. Because we think that it's just us struggling people that are living half dead life. 100% not. I know billionaires that are half dead because they're exchanging health, they're exchanging time, exchanging love for money and security. Like, you should know by now, no matter how much money in your bank, it doesn't give you security. You should know how perfect your body is, it doesn't give you love. You should know by now that no amount of hard work ever is enough here. So choose your desires, spend time with them as you are in a relationship with them, because all of those things that you're seeking in other people are actually within you if you would open it up. All right. Remember, your moods that you create intentionally change the physical structure of your body, because your blood is created like a mood. Okay. You drink wine, you're in the mood. Well, blood is the idea of communion in the scripture. It is the mood you create. And as soon as you create the mood around the desire and say, yes, I deserve this, now you're creating in the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is like the womb of creation, or Santa's workshop, where all the atomic particles begin to percolate and build a new world for you. So the how is never, ever your job. You are the child of God. Your job is to say yes to your desire, and then basically get out of the way of the how and become it energetically. Align with the frequency, and then that will move all of the catalyst points, the collaboration of the universe, because unity consciousness, y'all, which means that we're actually all connected through consciousness. So when I have a burning desire, I become telepathic, and someone out in the universe has a burning desire to give me what my burning desire is to receive, and vice versa. And how we're going to create unity consciousness and get out of separation is start getting real with our desires. Because what you seek is seeking you. What you want wants you. What you need is available. Why you are here is your work. And however you want to sprinkle heaven here, with absolutely no judgment of how that looks, think about how much joy your children or your godkids or your nieces or nephews give you when you're around them. Is that not enough to change the world? Okay, you think you've got to do something, you got to save a certain amount of people. You can't save sick people when you are not fulfilling your desires, because you're not an inspiration. You're enabling, right? The best influence on this planet is someone who is living their true desires and purpose intentionally, unapologetically, authentically. All right. So if you want to know how to do that, jump into my boot camp. It is the cheapest, fastest biohack that you will ever do. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to quietly, secretly, just you, yourself, and you are going to say yes to your desires. And then I'm going to help you unpack those. Because when you unpack those, your life is going to get so big, it's going to affect everyone, which means you really want to help your family by doing the right job. Manifest the abundance of the universe, because I guarantee you the abundance that you need for that desire is packed into that desire. It's all a self-contained, it's a holiday basket. It's got everything in it. But see, your limited perspective is only going to see the top layer of what you want or what you need. But if you keep digging into that desire and you literally let it permeate every cell in your body, it also has the how inside of it. It's a full, complete system. And the way that it will unfold will literally blow your mind because it is not logical. This is quantum field. This is the field of potential when you dive into the desire. When you look at the desire, you think circumstances are going to have to work with that. I'm going to have to get in shape. I'm going to have to do this. Absolutely not. The body you need, the health you need, the money you need, the support you need, the investment you need, the circumstances you need, the props, okay, the time you need is all self-contained in these desires, guys. So if you think, oh, I really want to do this desire, but I need money, and you're looking at the money, you're looking in the wrong place because you're the child. Universe is your sugar daddy. Okay. So your job is to look at the desire, and the money will come from that burning desire of joy in the neighborhood. Nothing makes me want to give my kids more than when they are genuinely, joyfully, gratefully happy. So am I no different than how God is playing out in your story? Right? When my kids are whining and complaining and not cleaning their room and not taking care of their bodies and not doing what they're told as far as our family flowy rules, am I inspired to give? No. Do you honestly think God is any different for your story? So when you become that child that's like, I don't care how, I don't care when, my job is to desire it as if it is already here and live in it and wiggle in it and marinate in it and become it and get rid of everything that is in my way of receiving it. It will come in such a beautiful way that you literally will drop to your knees and cry, because I've done it so many times in my life. All right. So choose your desires, because your desires are going to keep choosing you. You can keep building walls around your heart and you can have 8 heart attacks. You can keep building walls around your heart and your shoulders can go frozen and your wrists can hurt, because this is all heart chakra. You can keep avoiding the emotion that your desire is birthing out of you, and you can shut your gut down, because that's the house of your emotion. That is where you digest reality. And you can keep working your head off until your migraine explodes you and your shoulders unfold. Okay. You guys, the body is telling you every moment, are you living your purpose or not? And your purpose is always to create major joy. So whether that's being a bartender on a beach or raising a family or getting on a podcast and finally telling your testimony that can change lives, or writing that book, or just quitting that corporate job so you can be happy. You're going to put that into the field that gives other people permission to be happy. There's nothing better than being around a very confident, happy person. It's like, oh, I could be happy too. That's all your contribution needs to be for you to inherit every single thing that is within your desires. If you can desire it, you are here to manifest it. You have the perfect biological manifesting suit. Manifest, right? Like, this is the suit. And it's all done through thoughts, feelings, behaviors, okay? And when you are in alignment with your thoughts and feelings, your body is alive. It will restructure and mold itself around your desire, which means if your desire is to play a musical instrument and you spend time imagineering that, you will know how to play, guaranteed, without picking up an instrument. Because you're downloading this from the cloud. You think the desire is like just shoved in here. No, you are the universe. As above is below, right? In the unconscious, right? It's a big circle. Unconscious, superconscious, okay? Conscious, subconscious. It's all one circle. So if you get to this point at your rock bottom, welcome home, because at your next level of rock bottom is your super consciousness. It's your desires. Now you can live again. Now you can, if you just got fired, now you can live. If you finally got rid of that boyfriend, it is not a defeat, it's a win. You win because everything is as above is below. So please, you guys, for the love of humanity, stop trying to judge what is happening outside of you. Do not try to fix a dysfunctional system. Do not try to change a dysfunctional body through outside circumstances. Get so freaking happy and say yes to your desires that your body molds around your joy. Okay? Pinky promise that this is how it works because I've taken thousands of people through their desires out to the other end. And those people are now seeds that are all over this planet spreading joy, not doom and gloom, not dysfunction, not troublemaking, not going around saving people, not being perfect, not being the sick one, but being the real one for you. Okay, you deserve this. Your worth is that you exist. You don't need to do anything to claim all these desires. Claiming the desires is your gift to God because then God force energy gets to work through you and expand the universe in abundance, in freedom. So choose you, okay? And if you're ready to join me, you can sign up at my bootcamp. I will put my link. It's in my link tree, but it's also, I'll put it in the comments. It's super inexpensive, 90 days, but I gift it to you for a year because you'll want to go back in and do it for each one of your major desires, the perfect body, the dream house, the perfect relationship, all the cash in the bank. It's the same formula, you guys. It's the same formula. But most of the time, when you get right with the body, everything starts to hatch because the body is usually your biggest judgment. It is your biggest limit, and it is your biggest storage house of old pain and stories that keeps making you believe that you can't be and do and have what you want. So I hope you join me. Otherwise, I hope you got a nugget, a seed. Share this, follow us. Leave a comment if this resonated with you. And also, if you guys are on Instagram, leave your Instagram handle and I will follow you. Okay, so let's start a co-creative manifestation through biology little family here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this Monday Mindset, and I will see you on the flip side.